Oh, whoa, what's this? Videos that are accurate or unreliable use clickbait, but nearly half the users on this platform use it incorrectly. And don't you realize the dangers of abusing such a, for lack of a better word, power? Before we bite into the meat of the video, be sure to like so this can reach more people and comment your opinion on the matter. Whether we should clickbait or the idea of it is evil and deceptive. Let's be honest, no matter how wise we are, we've all fallen for clickbait at some point. Whether it be trust in the creator or it was one of the first videos you watched on this platform, the fact that it works so well has led to YouTube becoming a sea of red arrows. One would think the best bet is to try and out-clickbait the others. Of course, clickbait is more than just red arrows in a thumbnail. It is a title, descriptions, tags, and so much more than we could possibly list. It's deceiving another person in some way to give you a view by leveraging a topic or person. I'm going to touch on the topic before the way they're presented. I believe there to be three major forms of clickbait content. The first being the one who leverages a topic and only speaks of it briefly, then transitioning to the true topic of the video. That, depending on the style of the video, of course, could be trashy gameplay or talking about potatoes for 9 more minutes just for ad revenue. This approach is alright, I suppose, as long as in the brief moment you mention the topic, you actually cover it completely. Some people will only mention it briefly, as if they're quoting their title and never actually addressing it. Others will do the same, but do what I like to call the news approach. Ever notice when the news starts, they'll have a main topic to get you to watch, and only briefly talk about it in the final minutes of the program? It works so well, some stations in my area will wait until the end to do the forecasts, as most people only watch for that and traffic reports. It's the same with some TV shows. They'll advertise all week long this big dramatic thing that's going to change the series forever, and when the episode airs, they just blow it off like it wasn't a big deal, or they stretch to the end of the episode and actually do it the following week. But that's moving away from the topic. The second form of clickbait content isn't as bad. It's when the video promises one thing, but you get something closely related, but it's not quite exactly what they said it would be. I'd say, much like the last one, this isn't bad as long as you mention the topic and address it as it was promised. Let's give an example. Let's say the guy down the street who eat radishes all day made a video on PewDiePie, but it's actually about the game PewDiePie was playing and not actually about him, which is fine, except that the title said it would be PewDiePie's playthrough on the game. Instead, it's his own 480p 22 FPS gameplay. Quick tangent. Before I forget, I did mention in the last video, it should be in the description, that I was considering weekly fan art competitions and the winners would get shouted out at the end of every video. And yes, I'm going to start doing that with the next video, with next week's video. So DM me on Discord. My Discord tag will be in the description. Send a pic and make sure I know what it's for, or else I'm just going to ignore it not knowing what it's for, obviously. Anyway, the final form of clickbait content is incredibly similar to the last one, but it's more name reliant. It's using the name of someone much bigger or actually collabing with them, which is rare to get their audience. The content will be entirely their own, maybe a mention here or there, but it's still nothing to do with the name they mentioned in the title. Sometimes it will be related to the title and actually be good content. Let's say some big YouTuber got hit by a bus and the little YouTuber wanted to talk about it in a video. That could actually be a good video, but it's still technically clickbaiting the flattened YouTuber's name. Okay, so now that I've spoken about the content, let's take a gander at some titles. Not literally, though. These videos aren't meant to mention anyone specifically, as that's what they want, more publicity. Instead, I'll be giving a slightly exaggerated, but all too accurate examples. So to list some features of clickbaiting titles, there are emojis, names, very specific keywords, and a whole lot more, but these stand out the most to me. Emojis, to start with, are an ancient art, very rarely used for clickbait anymore, as it's too obvious now. It's only ever used in trashy Twitch streams or spam emails. I guess people think it hurts their quality having emojis in the titles anymore. I suppose I can't disagree despite my own liking for such things. Names are, as I mentioned before, normally people just clickbaiting bigger YouTubers or keywords that are trending at the time, like Karoni or Pastrami. But as was said earlier, that's okay if it's actually the video. Things like how to and incredibly satisfying are used a lot as they've been proven to get views, and I think that's one of the biggest things destroying YouTube. The fact that so many people refuse to be original, and at the end of the day, all the videos are in a pile of the same content, with different cringe-worthy squeakers going viral through them. Much like the sellouts mentioned in the last video, they'll do anything for a view, to the point that their content isn't even their own anymore. Check out that video in the description. And finally, the greatest form of clickbait, the form that most people will think when they hear the words clickbait, the thumbnails. Of course, there were many things I could have talked about as well, but it's practically impossible for a single person to cover this entire subject. There's just so much. A few honorable mentions before we move on. I wanted to mock top 10 channels, but it turns out I'm just garbage at editing, so we're just gonna have this text scrolling by slowly. Red arrows. You see red arrows and immediately you think clickbait, which is technically true. According to Google, clickbait is content whose main purpose is to attract attention and encourage visitors to click on a link to a particular web page. While writing the script for this video, I thought y'all would like to hear an example they give using the word. These recent reports show the imminent demise of hyperbolic clickbait. Gosh dang, Oxford Dictionary. But yes, that technically makes red arrows and your thumbnails clickbait. But here's a quick dot. If clickbait is the attempt to attract new visitors to your video, then isn't having a thumbnail and a title always clickbait, no matter how you make it? Isn't telling your friend to watch clickbait? Excuse me, higher beings of Google and or Oxford, who they referenced the definition from. Please change the definition so that I may get my cat to watch without him shaming me for clickbait like an absolute gangster. Please. Oh heck, I was planning on making a follow-up video explaining how to spot clickbait, but now I realize all you have to do is open YouTube and literally any video on the platform is clickbait, except for that one guy who has no thumbnail or title. He's a saint. Anyway, now that I've stopped having a brief crisis, I can continue with the video. I was once long ago shamed for having red arrows in my thumbnail, and to that hypocritical person I shall say, you're an idiot. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing this. As I mentioned in the last video, you don't want to be the unappealing salmon in the sea of bright red catfish. Disclaimer, I'm not entirely sure if bright red catfish would be safe to eat, so consume at your own risk. Most clickbait thumbnails will either consist of red arrows or a question in big, outlined white text. The background is typically a color that clashes with the red, such as blue or green or something weird, or a screenshot from a game, but this is mere child's play in comparison to big YouTubers. Faking whole unrelated topics or events, or using one of the great three: faces, bright colors, and boobage. Also, about the faces, they use incredibly uncomfortable close-ups or angles, and I guess people like it. Oh heck, my computer fell asleep while recording this. I've been recording for so long. I should probably disable that. That's a problem. Hope the video file doesn't go corrupted. It's like on Twitch, everyone says it's impossible to grow without a face cam, and technically that's not true, but it's been proven that a face greatly helps you connect with your audience and grow easier. I guess people connect more with a face than just a voice. All these hours of making this video and we've barely scratched the surface. There's so much more to cover than what's been dumbed down here for this video. Like the pathetic sellouts who fake deaths or disasters just for views. Given that I don't want to rant for 2 hours about this, I'm going to shift into after-party mode and address some things about the channel. To those who stirred up a bit of ruckus because of the last video, remember I have the right to talk about who I want, how I want, and when I want to. And that's why these videos don't feature any names. Why must you jump to conclusions, my children? Get over yourselves. The whole world doesn't revolve around. It's funny, the one thing I always wanted when I joined YouTube was haters, and I guess I got them. Which makes me feel accomplished. 2 dislikes every video. On the video before the last video, I was there when they got posted, and I checked the analytics, and it said that those 2 people, or 2 accounts with the same person, literally went to my channel just to the video, just to dislike. Truly accomplished. Don't forget to submit your art for next week's video. Also, follow our Twitch. I stream there 3 times a week. Maybe you'll like it. Until next time, keep your beans close, but your pink milk close.